What's going on, everyone? Welcome back along to the channel where today we wrap up round 3 of the subscriber series. We're having a look at the team of the week, a few stat leaders, and have a look at what's coming up in round number 4. So let's get straight into things. Let's have a look at the stat leaders following round 3 from our 4 subscriber sides. Of course, last week and this weekend we'll look at line breaks, we'll look at point scorers, and we'll look at those successful tackle makers. A real one for the forwards that the backs seem to be dominating so far as well. But quickly, before we have a look at those statistical leaders, let's have a recap of the 4 results from our subscriber sides in round number 3. Things kicked off with the All Flakes going 35-0 over Toulon. Next up with the Guardians of the Crib, who went just as big, 34 points to 7 over Clermont. Third game of the round, the Flakers were also at home and they were up against Munster, where they delivered enough to go 28-14 over the Irish club. And finally, it was the Celtic Dragons who went over the Lions from South Africa in Super Rugby, 31 points to 0 to cap off round number 3. So let's see who leads the way in the stats. Let's kick it off. Line breaks, an area of the game where teams really need to make their own if they're going to become a threat throughout this season. So line breaks, leading the way is a man from the All Flakes, who is the number 10 jumper and is doing a great job there as well. Samo Coop from the All Flakes leads there with 6 line breaks from just the 3 rounds. Pretty sure he's only played 2 games as well. So doing really, really well, Samo Coop, to lead that nicely from Steve Tekogs, who sits in second alongside Alan Fleetwood and Arthur Brunso from the Celtic Dragons. And Fleetwood from the All Flakes as well. 2 All Flakes in the top 4, but those 3 guys, Tekogs, Fleetwood and Brunso, all sit on 4 line breaks from their matches so far. So sitting at this time of the season, most players have played at least 2 games. Most players will set out at least 1 game as well. So everyone is getting a really good fair shout in the competition so far. So Samo Coop leading it nicely with line breaks. On to the leading point scorers, which is always a big one. Try scorers aren't really making much of an impact so far. That's why everyone will be in a big logjam. But points, it is looking like the cream of the crop is coming to the top. He's leading the way in line breaks, and he's doing the same in points scored as well. Samo Coop from the All Flakes leading with 25 points from his couple of games following round number 3. Right next to him, though, and 2 people sitting on 22 points, is Don Butler from the Guardians of the Crib, the first Guardians player to appear in these little stats, and it is Owen Richards from the Flakers sitting there on 22 points as well. And rounding out the top teams, or top players scoring points from the 4 subscriber sides, is Shane O'Sullivan, who sits nicely on 18 points. You notice it is all the kickers doing the damage with the points at the moment. And last but certainly not least, an interesting stat that we've added in here to get some unknown players a bit of screen time here is successful tackles. Now, normally in previous season number 1, of course, it was dominated by the forwards, but amazingly, it is being led by mostly backs here in season number 2. It's really bizarre, because leading the way is a man from the Guardians of the Crib, the second guy from the Guardians in this little leaderboard. It is Ken Lynch, the scrum half, leading the way with 15 successful tackles. I would have never predicted this. Maybe, you know, a centre or something who does a lot of work around the breakdown, but I always thought forwards were where this one would really be dominated. But Ken Lynch doing the job and getting 15 tackles. Next to him is a man, a big guy, Akahara Kamana from the All Flakes. No surprise, this guy is in some statistics with 14 successful tackles. We've got a pile of players sitting next to those guys. Shane O'Sullivan from the Celtic Dragons. We've got Ryan Webb from the Flakers, Jim Aligino also from the Flakers, and Richard Mokwa from the Celtic Dragons, all on 13 successful tackles to round out a little look, a little insight into some stats from the subscriber series after round number 3. Now let's get on to why we're really here. It is time for the team of the week. It is time for round 3, the best of the best. Okay, so let's get into it. 3 rounds done. We've had a couple of good teams of the weeks, but you may notice here, heading into this 3rd team of the week round, there's a few names that are really starting to become a constant in this video. So let's get into it. We start off with the front row. 2 props and a hooker. We are going from, amazingly, no one is getting 2 props or a hooker and a prop in the team of the week yet. It's one from each, the Guardians, the Dragons, and the All Flakes. It is Liam Hacker on the loose head side. Arthur Brunso was just about being the man of the round as well, starting a hooker, which is a very, very strange one to see. And Nicholas Friedlander, yep, the difference maker from the All Flakes. He'll start on the tight head side. 3 really good performers. Normally props can be a bit difficult to pick, but this week they were too easy. Really, we were spoiled for choice. Owen Fagan could have been in there. David O'Callaghan could have been in there. Rubber could have been in there as well. And many, many names who were exceptional in the front row for the subscriber sides in round number 3. The second row, however, not so easy, but you've got a couple of guys who really performed really nicely as well. One from the Guardians and the All Flakes. Still, we don't see anyone from the Flakers in the team just yet, and we've gone through the tight 5 already. It is Josh Howard who will start at 4, and Benjamin Grayson will get the nod at 5 from the All Flakes. So a very good looking squad so far. Josh Howard, a standout from the second row. Pretty much the only standout from the second row as well. Very good performance there from the Guardians second rower. Into the back row. This is where you see it, isn't it? This is really where you see the standouts. Again, we've had to shift a couple of guys around. Well, just one guy around, because we had a couple of big standouts in the number 8 jumper. Akahara Kamana. We'll just put him straight in every single week, shall we? Because he is just that good, and he performs so exceptionally well week in, week out from the All Flakes EC yet again, but he'll be in the number 6 jumper this round. Alongside him in the number 7 jumper will be Elliot Malpass, moving from the wing into the pack from the Guardians of the Crib. He gets a nod at 7. And number 8, well, it should have been Akahara Kamana, but this guy was just so good. And he gets right up there with Brunso as being one of the players of the round as well. It is Nanook Isi for the second week in a row. This guy is a freak. Scored a couple of tries. He was brutal on the fence, and he was just fantastic around the field. So Nanook Isi, another second consecutive team of the week for him at number 8 from the Flakers. The first one from the Flakers as well, but really he was the only man from the Flakers to really stand out in that sort of way. That's the forward pack done. Let's go to the back line, and it's from the All Flakes. We go to Jimmy Henderson. Now, first time in the series so far, we've actually had easy pick for the number 9 jumper. Henderson was a standout, picked himself up a try, and overall looked very lively in the number 9 jumper for the All Flakes. Starting at 10, this was tough. 2 players really did contest this, but it come down to your guys' opinion from the comments, which is why Shane O'Sullivan gets the nod in the number 10 jumper over Owen Richards from the Flakers. So Shane O'Sullivan from the Celtic Dragons, standout. You guys agreed, said that he was your player of the match as well. So he gets a nod there in the number 10 jumper. Into the centres, and another man who probably deserves to be up there with one of the players of round 3 is JP Mukoko from the Celtic Dragons. An exceptional display from the little man. His first real standout performance as well. He was brilliant in the centres, and alongside him is Kieran Jones from the Guardians of the Crib. Really, really good when he stormed the number 8 jumper. We moved him to the centres, equally as effective as well. So great to see Kieran Jones making his mark on Season 2 as well as Season 1 from last year. So into the outside backs, and we're going to the left wing. We're going to go Randy Mbingo, also from the Celtic Dragons. A solid game. Not the greatest or most spectacular, but did his job very, very well out there for the Dragons. But on the right wing, there's a man who was exceptional, and probably the first winger to have a really, really good game. He goes by the name of Thomas Barkley. Very, very good for him. A solid, scored some points as well, but just did his job, his core role, exceptionally well, and was very, very good for the Flakers, who make up 2/3 of the back 3 with Michael Guerin lining up at fullback. Now, some may say Michael Guerin, does he deserve that? Have he just left the same name there? But you look at that game, the Flakers versus Munster 28-14, you're saying Michael Guerin, he didn't even keep a clean sheet. Why does he get the number 15 jumper and team of the week? But man, this kid was all over the place in this game for the Flakers. Very good on the kick return, very good defensively. Yes, one went straight through him, but just remember the amount that he stopped. Goal line defense. If you didn't see this game between the Flakers and Munster. Go check it out because Munster could have easily scored a try or two more. They were that good and they were that close. Michael Curran was exceptional and I think justifies his second consecutive Team of the Week just for that huge workload he did. Fullbacks generally in Rugby Challenge are very quiet. Michael Curran was fantastic. He was in everything, a lot for a fullback to be involved in as well on the game. So that's it. That is your Team of the Week for round number 3. A full 15 players. Who do you think was lucky to get there? Who do you think was unlucky to miss out as well? Let me know in the comments below, or if you agree with my team. We've got big matches coming up in round 4, guys, so do not go anywhere. Plenty more subscriber series action coming up. Yes, I've been away for a couple of weeks. Good reasons, personal reasons for that, which some may know, some may not know. But back to normal production right from now. We'll be getting back to normal videos coming your way. So what do we have coming your way? We have Wasps versus the Guardians of the Crypt. That is the first match of round 4. Then we have the Scarlets up against the All Flakes. All the subscriber sides are on the road this week as well, which is very, very interesting. Then we have Clermont up against the Flakers. Sure to be a big one. And finally, a team that impressed from round 3, Munster, up against the Celtic Dragons, who have put away the Lions pretty easily, but struggled in the opening couple of rounds. So that should be a good match between those two sides. That is your 4 fixtures for round number 4. I hope to see you all there for those ones as well. Don't forget to leave your comments after each and every matchup, so we know who you think deserves to have their place in the Team of the Week for round number 4. Until then, thanks for tuning and watching. Hope you're enjoying the series. Heaps coming your way as well. So until then, thanks for tuning in. As always, take care.